Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edutaining episode of Ellen Keister the Real-Talk show, and I am your beautiful host, Ellen Keister. With me in the studio, I will be talking to an American Sierra Leone philanthropist with a passion to help vulnerable women and children in Sierra Leone by providing vocational training programs, scholarships, and lots more. Also, my guest is the focal point and ground partner for Commonwealth Businesswomen's Network in Sierra Leone. Not only that, she is the CEO and founder of SJM&F Mining and General Services, as well as the founder of Women's Social Enterprise and Educational Development. Let's go for a quick break, and when we come back, I will be introducing my guest. Welcome back to Ellen Keister, the Real Talk show. Of course, I talked about the lady earlier. You want to know who it is? Help me welcome Sia Jarieu Bayoh Morsay. Hi, Sia. How are you?
Hi, Ellen. How are you?
Good. I like this whole flowy Cinderella looking. You're looking gorgeous and beautiful today.
Of course, the princess has to represent, so thank you.
The princess has to represent. She's a princess today. How's everything? How's Sierra Leone?
Oh, Sierra Leone is great.
It's great.
Happy to be here.
Okay. How long has it been since you've been in Sierra Leone?
Well, I came back again last year, July, late July.
Okay.
So about a year.
About a year. I'm talking about like your whole Sierra Leone experience.
Well, from 2013, off and on, 2013 up to this point.
Okay. They don't know this, but she grew up in Miami. That's why I said American Sierra Leonean. You gotta think I'm American. She's more American than I am. You know, I mean, you grew up in Miami. I mean, what really brought you to Sierra Leone? Because most people that went there when they were little, you know, have been there all their lives. It's hard for them to connect to Sierra Leone. And then here you are. I mean, not only you came to visit, you actually live here now.
Yeah.
We did. Salute. So why made you make that big move?
Transition. Well, it goes back to my beginning.
Okay.
First of all, I want to say that I grew up in Miami, like you said. Miami is dear to my heart. I love it. I miss it many times. But my mom passed away as from childbirth when she was pregnant and everything like that. So as soon as she passed away, my uncle adopted my sister and I legally. Okay. So when we went there, that's what caused the distance of me not coming back. But I always asked about my biological father. However, I didn't know anything about him. I didn't know his name or anything like that. So over the years, I was just curious, you know, there were certain family members, not my parents, I just want to put that out there, my parents that raised me. However, they never spoke about my biological father. So I was told by members of the family that he's dead. Of course, I knew my mom passed away. Because of that, I went to the U.S. Okay. So I asked, where's my dad? And, oh, he's dead. Okay, if he's dead, what is his name? Oh, we don't know his name. Really? So that it was just very crazy. Make a long story short, I completed my degree in business. From business, I had a Jewish partner, decided to go back to school to learn about diamonds, not realizing that God is directing me to my destiny and my path. So I did my course as a diamond grader and a gemologist. So I am a certified grader and gemologist. So it was after that, my partner who was Jewish, he was like, okay, Sia, now that you completed a course, go back to Sierra Leone. So I told my uncle in DC, my mom's elder brother. So when I told him, he was a bit surprised and apprehensive. So he said he will assist me. So later on, he called me one morning. He's like, I have to tell you something. What I'm about to tell you is very emotional. I'm like, what is it? I thought someone passed away because of the way he sounded. Right. So that was when he was like, your father is alive. I'm like, what? He's like, I'm like, yeah, of course I know my dad is alive, referring to his brother that I know as my father. He's like, no, your father is alive, your biological father. It's about time you find out the truth. Go to your dad. Only he can protect you. That's how I came to Sierra Leone. Make a long story short, I didn't say anything to anyone. Richard and I, we booked his we bought my ticket with my two daughters, whom at the time they were 1.5, and the other one had just turned 3, Lily and Faith. Booked my ticket for myself and my two daughters. I spoke to my father for the first time July 10th of 2013. My daughter's birthday is July 22nd, so we celebrated her 3rd birthday. And July 24th, I was in Sierra Leone to come and meet my dad. And when I saw him, no one had to tell me that's your dad. I actually saw someone that looked like me, and I looked like someone. I'm like, oh my God, I see myself in this man, you know. And so as soon as I saw him, I went and embraced him, and the rest.
So there was no questions about it. You guys looked just like each other,
in
other words.
Exactly. So that was my journey, what brought me to Sierra Leone. And when I met him, I had a lot of convictions. I was confused, you know, and I felt like, wow, I missed so much opportunities to know him. Now he's in his 70s. So it was an obligation just to be with him and learn about my culture. And that's what made me decide.
To come here.
Yeah.
And since you came, you decided to just stay, basically.
Well, since I came, I felt like I have a sense of purpose that I needed to give back. Miami is the luxury life. Miami is the party. Miami is going shopping. It's comfort, you know? And I love it, but I feel like you need to do more. You need to have a sense of meaning or a sense of purpose. That's the word. And here I feel like I mean something to people. I'm not just living a regular life. There are people that I can contribute more to their lives, you know? And that's what made me realize, okay, I need to give. I want to make an impact in the lives that that I've encountered. And so I was convicted, like, wow, should I go back to my comfort, live a regular life forever? Or I want to make a sacrifice. And indeed, it was a sacrifice to literally leave.
Man, I don't want you to move. I swear we're still here because, you know, of course, we always have that conversation before the show. And I know you've gone through a lot. However, you're still excelling. You know, when you came, of course, your dad is from Kono.
Right.
Sia, duh.
Yeah, I know, right?
You know, so when you met him, it was straight in Kono or it was in Freetown?
Well, I was in Freetown for about 2 weeks. And he's like, okay, you're going to Kono, you're Kono. So I'm like, no, I'm not Kono. I'm going to Kono. I didn't even know that Kono was a tribe, just to show you how ignorant I was. So he was like, no, you're Kono. I'm Kono, and I'm a chief. So, and I'm like, okay, what does that mean? You're a chief. So I had so many questions, you know. So
and
that
you
was.
didn't know none of that. Like you were just the Miami girl.
I didn't even know his name. The first time my uncle told me that his name is Sia Morsay, that's the first time I knew I'm a Morsay, and his name is Sia, you know. So that was all I knew.
So that's why you added the Morsay to the Bayoh, because your name is long.
No, exactly. So it's really Jarieu Bayoh, you know, but because all Kono, the firstborns are Sia, so it's Sia, and then his last name is Morsay. Okay. So it's only fair to honor him and put his name part of my name.
Of course. You mentioned about purpose and the things you've done. I know you've done a lot, which you're going to explain some of these things. So you came here, of course, met people. We found out he was a chief, which was really great. We didn't even know what that is. I mean, that's a big deal. My dad is a chief, you know. And then you got connected to women in Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
When you say purpose, was it a thing where I just want to help people in Africa, or you were very particular helping women?
It was women and children.
Okay.
It was very intentional because women all over the world are the most vulnerable in society in general, and children, obviously. So I knew that if I'm going to do anything in Africa, it has to be, particularly Sierra Leone, it has to be women and children. So that's how I started.
Okay, so what are some of the things you've done with these women?
Well, when I first came, I was a bit confused. When I first went to Kono, I saw children going to school. Some didn't have shoes at the time. And their uniforms were torn. And it was not very conducive. So I was a bit confused, like, Dad, why? Why are they going to school like this? He's like, well, welcome to Africa. This is how it is. I'm like, no, but this is not how it is. He's like, look, the way things are in the U.S. and Africa is different. I'm like, yeah, there are poverty all over the world, but it was shocking to me as a parent, you know. So the first thing I did initially, I gave 500 scholarship to children before I came on a short visit.
Okay.
So I'm like, wow,
great.
I want to give, at the time, education was not free. So I gave the 500 scholarship to children for two years in Kono, because that's where I was.
Okay.
And then from there, I built the clinic at the military barracks for the women at the military barracks to give birth, a maternity ward. I did that. Donated laptops and computers to the attire base, to the youths, and so forth. And it's a lot that I've been doing over the years, working with women, counseling, you know, just
different things.
Different
and I think
things,
that's really great because for somebody like you living that lifestyle, like you said, coming here and saying, you know what, should I stay?
Yeah.
Should I go? Should I live this life? You know, this and the other. I think you're doing a wonderful job.
Yeah,
but of course, I still have Sia with me. Don't go anywhere because I'll be back after this.
Who knows what might happen tomorrow, next week, or even next year? But we do know that with Stacco Insurance, whatever the future brings, we'll be there when you need us most, with outstanding customer service and prompt payment of your claim. Fire, motor, general accident, marine, life and medical. For now and for tomorrow. Stacco Insurance, a passion for high standards.
Welcome back to Ellen Keister the Real-Talk show. If you just walked in, I have Sia Jarieu Bayoh Morsay. She's a focal point and ground partner for Commonwealth Businesswomen's Network, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I got it this time around. Which is great. We will talk about the Commonwealth because it's new to Sierra Leone. I was fortunate to have gone with her to Kenya when she was appointed. And, you know, we learned a lot, you know. So it was the first time for Sierra Leone, which is good.
Yeah.
But before you got there, these were some of the things that got you there, in other words.
Of course.
You know, basically, she came here, you know, she didn't really know her dad, went to Kono, and she just started helping because she saw people suffering.
Of course.
You know, and of course, you roll with the Jewish guy, you got money, you're like, you know what, instead of just buying the designers and doing all of these things, let me help these people, which you did. 500 scholarships, like you said, laptops, you know, you opened the clinic.
Right.
I mean, this is really great for somebody who's young as you are, coming to Sierra Leone. I mean, being able to do it.
Right.
You know, I think, you know, God bless your heart. You know, I mean, it's just really awesome. Because when I look at her. You know, she's done all of that, you know, and people don't know these things, of course. That's why we're here, because I like to showcase people and, of course, give you your flowers and just celebrate women that are doing really good.
Thank you.
So while you were here, of course, I know it wasn't an easy task. What are some of the challenges that you went through in Kono? Because you were there for a minute.
Right. First of all, I want to thank you for creating these opportunities for women like myself, for the world to see what we're doing, because it's very important.
Right.
Okay? Well, there has been a lot of challenges. Number one, when you come to Sierra Leone, coming from the other side, and you come here, people tend to take advantage of you and your kindness.
Right.
You know, and just because you're kind to someone does not mean it's an obligation. So that's a huge challenge.
Right.
You know, and one thing my dad told me, he's like, look, never make a promise to a Sierra Leonean. A promise is a debt.
Yeah.
So literally, you know. So I made that mistake a few times. I made some promises, not that I didn't fulfill it, but you know, human nature, you tend to forget. And people get so upset. Like, I'm like, God, Lee, they're worse than the collectors that call our phones me. Literally, you know. And they would just like harass you, like, and they get so upset and they take it personal, like, look, it was a promise, you know, it's not an obligation. So those were some of the challenges. And then, you know, I mean, this is just the reality when you come trying to learn the currencies and different things like that. Like, for example, this is so hilarious. I asked someone for a Kono book. I'm like, okay, how much is the Kono book? The man is like 300, right? So I thought it was $300. So I I took $300. I gave him. I never saw that man in my life
What do you
again.
think? Are you serious? I would run.
So when my dad came, I'm like, yeah, Dad, I just gave that your family member, that your brother, $300 for Okonobo. That's Elagila. He's like, where did he go? I'm like, he was just here. So those are some of the challenges. But on a more serious note, when women come and you want to establish something, you want to do something that's meaningful, that impact lives and touch lives, men tend to be intimidated. I'm not saying this to make anyone feel bad or to make anyone look bad, but it's the reality. And we have to speak about hard topics, I've been classed, oh yeah, she wants to be a politician. Okay, let's be real. If I wanted to be one, I am a Sierra Leonean.
Yeah, you're allowed to.
I don't think I would hide that, you know. We from that side, we're very upfront about our feelings. I don't know what the future holds, but that's not my objective. Imagine I came from a world where I know nothing about the politics and what's happening, to say because of my kind gesture and me feeling sorry and empathy for women and children, all of a sudden I'm a politician. These are some of the challenges, Whoa. When some of us come from that side of the world, we genuinely have good intention to do and to give.
Exactly.
So I think we need to be embraced. We, the diasporas that's coming back home. Most people are leaving Sierra Leone and third world countries or other countries that's not even the third world to go to the West, to go to Europe, to go to the US and so forth. So someone like myself, or let's say like you,
coming back,
that grew up
think is always
we were very fortunate.
Well, to be honest with that is, most people, there's always a motive. It's just hard for the ones here to really believe. Same thing, I went through the same thing where I came from America. They're like, come on, America, can't sit down. These are going to deport. These are going to this. Then all of a sudden I'm going in and out. Then they realize, oh no. She, then I was like, I was actually born there. Are you serious? You know what I mean? Like, I'm here because I came to visit.
Right.
I love Sierra Leone and I just want to make a difference.
Yeah.
But we all go through it.
It's not just you,
to be honest.
I was told that too. Oh, in order to go back to America, but I have a U.S. passport. Number two, I have 2 American children. Right. In the worst case scenario, those children have to go back. They're minors. Right. So these are some of the things, and also support. When you have an initiative, you're trying to do things, you're using your own resources.
Right.
Support is
well, I think that's why it's hard for them to believe, because whenever somebody pours money, it's always on the political side. Not everyone, of course, I can make that clear. She's one of them, and I know a lot more people that actually does help without no intentions. Right. But I think they're just used to people just coming around, give them things like that, and all of a sudden they come back and say, vote for me. Right. And with you doing something big, that's not small. I think you probably realize this is, something small, but that's a big deal. Right. Doing what you do. How many people have really done it? Not because they don't want to do it. Most people can afford it, but a lot of times it's like, they're like, keep that money for me and my family. Right. You know what I mean? So definitely you go through that. And of course with the men, like I said, that one,
it's a fight. It's a fight. And I mean, and also women. Women that are strong in government, not just the men. Let's just look at the other side of the coin. Okay. At least for me, I'm speaking about Sia, and I'm speaking about Sia's journey, her setback, her struggles, Women that are older than us or that have the upper hand politically, they have a platform and they have a role that they can play to help empower us. Or let's join. Exactly. I believe that if we join, like women empowerment, we can be so much more effective. Right. I don't have to be a threat to you. Right. We can come together as women. We can be sisters. We can be friends.
Sure, I agree.
I don't have to be a threat to say, or you would discourage me, or you start to say things that's not true.
So they feel like you were more of a threat. That's what you're saying.
It's happened. I'm just speaking about my experience, So these are some of my challenges and what I've gone through personally. Okay. I can't speak for someone else. I can only speak about my own journey. And, the diamond industry, that's another challenge
Right.
being the only female doing what I'm doing.
So you're the only female.
Well, yeah, with an office, you
Okay.
have women that works in government. That's different if you're an evaluator working for government, but diamond dealers with an office doing what I'm doing. Yeah, at least I don't know any others. At least
Okay.
that's
I think
what
you
I've been
don't.
told.
So you still do the diamonds?
Well, yeah, I do.
You're doing a lot of things.
Mining. My father does the mining. I do the,
You do all the
evaluating
evaluations,
and so
stuff like
forth.
that.
Yeah.
Ooh, can I be part of the next evaluation?
I'll have to train you first.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn. I don't mind being trained. We'll talk about diamonds.
Yeah.
I want to be part of it. I want some of the diamonds.
Yeah.
You know? But cool. Anyways, don't go anywhere because I'll be right back after this.
So let's watch The Real Talk with Ellen TV show by our very own daughter of Sierra Leone, Ellen Keister.
I am still here, of course. Welcome back to Ellen Keister the Real-Talk show. If you just walked in, why are you late for my show? Don't be late next time. Of course, I have with me Sia Jarieu Bayoh Morsay. She's an American. Well, Sierra Leone, yeah. She's here in Sierra Leone doing a lot of different things. We've talked about it, of course. Go back to my YouTube channel and watch the earlier part of it. I just want to say kudos for what you've done. And, of course, the diamond part, I like that. Before we went on the break, I just realized she's the only certified, I think, diamond dealer that has an office and things like that. So she's doing diamonds. She's helping women. And guess what? She's the focal point and grand partner for the Commonwealth
Right. Thank
Businesswomen
you.
Network,
Thank you.
which I was a part of. I am excited. Of course, I went to Kenya. I loved it, and I learned so much.
Yeah.
Let's go to that. How did you become, the focal point? Because we've never had one. This is the first time we've been included.
Right.
When it comes to women and business and
Right.
so many other things, this is the first time.
Right.
So it's like somebody who is not the popular Sierra Leonean in your corner doing your thing, and then bam, focal point. I know a lot of people are like, "Come on, what are these? What's in this?" So tell me, how did you make it that far?
All right. Just to go back a little bit, I'm sure there are probably other certified diamond dealers that are
Right.
women.
True.
However,
yes,
I
that's
am the
different.
one who have an office in Konobo, Kenama, Tongo, Kailaun. Only female with an office.
Okay, let me take it back.
Yeah.
There are a lot of certified diamond
I'm
dealers
sure there
that-
are,
right.
just to put that out there.
Only female with an office.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, the way how I got this appointment is because of what I've been doing with women.
Okay.
In Kono, I've galvanized thousands of women group associations. Like, for example, I registered 250 women associations at the social welfare office, got their businesses registered and certified and so forth. So that was very, very big. It was a big milestone for the women that are
Wow.
doing different businesses, right? So the turnout was that on that particular day, thousands and thousands of women came when we launched that day.
Wow.
So international bodies picked up on this. So because of all the works and I've been doing in Kono,
When you talk about registration, social welfare, I mean, these groups, what do they do? Just different groups from across Kono or other districts and stuff?
It went to as far as Guinea border, the women. We covered the 14 chiefdoms in Kono to Mende line, Mende border, Mende line, right? Let me put it that way. So women were from everywhere. I've even told that some women came from Akini that were part of the groups as well. So we registered their businesses. Like, for example, one of the women associations that we have is the Plantain Women Association. So it's about 300 membership with that one association.
Okay.
And their motto is Bush Not Greedy. Bush Not Greedy.
Bush not greedy.
Bush Not Greedy.
It's
That's
not even saying the Bush not greedy. Bush not greedy.
Bush Not Greedy. That's why they laugh at my Creole all the time. So So these are just examples. You have women in agriculture, you have women that are doing the petty trading, and so forth. So now, because of that, I got this appointment because, I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right? That's how the saying go on, seeing is believing. Using my own resources over the years, that's how I was recognized, like, okay, she's really genuine. She's using her own resources. If we give her a bigger platform, she can do so much more for the women, not just Kono, but Sierra Leone as a whole. So the Commonwealth Businesswomen's Network was established in 2002 by the Commonwealth Secretariat and the Commonwealth Business Council. Really, to go back, it was established 25 years ago by Tony Blair and the late Nelson Mandela and the Prime Minister of Malaysia. They formed it as the Commonwealth Business Council, then 2002. So from 2002, Sierra Leone never had representation. So it was 2022, finally, I am the first focal point and chairperson and ground partner for the Commonwealth Businesswomen's Network. So it's a huge, huge kudos for Sierra Leone. And we are the baby, but guess what? We're kicking butts in Africa, so forth, and we're making massive strides because women here are very anxious and
like you mentioned, you know, it was established some years ago, but then the women part of it was not a, you know, and then of course Sierra Leone was never really a part of it. You know, it was based on what you were doing. Just to recap, you know, that got you the appointment. So so far, what are you doing with it? Like as far as the Commonwealth, I know we went there for the conference, which was really great. There were the Africans there. We learned so much. We realized that, you know, for me personally, I realized that, you know, whatever we're going through here, other women in different African countries are going through the same thing.
Of course.
Sometimes we sit there and think, oh, na salon, but to be honest, it's not just Sierra Leone.
At all.
You know, I remember at the conference, there was this lady who does exactly what I do, and she's saying all these things, how people think she has so much money, and this, that, and the other, because they see her on TV, and I was just sitting there like, damn. That's my story. You know what I mean? People don't see what you do to get where you are. They just see, oh, okay, the fancy part of it. You know, and then other women that were doing really good things. And what I learned from it, just correct me if I'm wrong, is they try to see how they can partner, with other Sierra Leoneans. So far, the partnership, I mean, like I said, what have you done with it?
Okay. So we've done a lot. Remember, I just got this appointment in March, and you know, when we all went to Kenya, it was an eye-opener for all of us. And to see how aggressive women are. Women are very aggressive in business, and they're doing so much. When we went to the factories and going to different parts of Kenya, it was an eye-opener for me personally. So that conference, I took a lot from that conference and said that I needed to apply some of those same things that they're doing in Kenya, in Sierra Leone. And our women are very educated, they're very strong, they're extremely hardworking, they just need the platform and they just need opportunities. And that's where we come into play, not just myself, because we have a team. So what we started doing as the team, we did our first financial inclusion training because I've met with some bank MDs to see what leverages or what opportunities are there for women through banks or through soft loans that's not so aggressive, and why is it that more men are given opportunity to facilities than women? I really wanted to know. And I've even met with major companies, big MDs, international organizations, international mining companies that are here. And when my boss was here, we asked them, okay, in your board of members, how many women are there in the top members, in the board of members, you know? In the top 3, how many women do you have? They didn't say anything. So that's really, really bad.
Yeah, definitely.
We're just as competent. We're just as capable. So we need to challenge these institutions and organizations to give us opportunities. I mean, I'm a woman, and I'm doing so much more. So imagine there are women that are more educated, more exposed, and have access to a lot more. We just need opportunities.
And that's what I like. We just need the opportunity.
We need the opportunities.
And they're not giving it to us.
Look like yourself. We need opportunities to be given the platform that men are given. We're not there to challenge you. We're just saying, give us a chance to
Right.
work with you, to
Exactly.
collaborate with you, you know? And that was just it. And so the MDs are like, okay, when we give women the loans, they don't pay back. But the actual fact is,
Right. 'Cause I was
men
gonna
don't
say, do
pay
we
back.
pay back or don't?
Men
Men
pay
don't-
back more than women, believe it or not. And those are statistics.
Okay.
Women pay at a higher rate than men. And I found that out. Yes.
Wait, hold on. So you're trying to say, you know, if you go for a loan, because you're a woman, your percentage is higher than the man?
No, what I mean is
Right.
that when it comes to paying the debts back,
Okay.
women pay their debts more than men.
Man. So they're saying they don't give it to women because we don't pay debts.
Right,
But
which is
then
a
they-
contradiction. Right, to me. At least that's how it comes across to me personally.
Okay.
So I said, okay, now, since you're saying that, especially women in the provinces up country, yes, there are mistakes that are made because of lack of education and so forth. So I asked, we partnered with Rokel Commercial Bank, Afri Money, and EcoBank, Eco Microfinancing. So they gave us representatives that came to do the financial inclusion training for 350 women.
Stop right there. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. It's getting interesting. I'll be right back after this.
Who knows what might happen tomorrow, next week, or even next year? But we do know that with Stacco Insurance, whatever the future brings, we'll be there when you need us most, with outstanding customer service and prompt payment of your claim. Fire, motor, general accident, marine, life and medical. For now and for tomorrow. Stacco Insurance, a passion for high standards.
Welcome back to Ellen Keister the Real-Talk show. Of course, we're almost at the end of the show. I have with me the beautiful Sia Jarieu Bayoh Morsay, who's the focal point and grand partner for the Commonwealth Businesswomen's Network. I mean, it's the first time in Sierra Leone that we've had representation. Of course, she was fortunate. She got the appointment because of so many things she's done with women in Kono. She's given scholarships. You know, you've helped the children.
Right.
You know, I mean, just a lot of different things. She moved to Sierra Leone some years back when she realized her, you know, biological dad was alive. She wanted to just come here and just meet him. Then, boom, she saw poverty all over the place, and she was wondering, hey, why can't I just have money to do this? This was all out of her pocket. And, of course, clearly, you're not trying to be a politician. Because that was another thing. People got intimidated. Of course, people were saying, what's that, come on, this Piquet, so maybe you want to be a politician. No, she just wanted to help. You know, and of course, some of the challenges you face is the fact that we don't support each other. The women in politics maybe just got a little intimidated, men as well.
Right.
You know, and just more so because they don't really believe you were genuine.
Right.
But however, you're here saying it, I helped, I did it out of my own heart because this is Sierra Leone. And now, she's the focal point, grand partner, you know, of the Commonwealth Businesswomen's Network, which, you know, when I was there with her, when she was appointed, we went to the conference. It was held in Kenya. It was basically a way to see how all the countries can collaborate, you know, especially women in business, because we're all struggling. Like I said, the struggles are the same.
Right.
Sometimes we really think, oh, it's a Sierra Leonean thing. But honestly, for me, like I said earlier, it was an eye-opener to say, oh, my God. We are all on the same level.
Right.
We're still fighting for opportunities to be great.
Right.
We still want to be a part of, you know, this man. And this man just feel like, oh, you're a woman, you're not supposed to. But with me, of course, I always say, when I came here, it's like I'm also this. They say, you know, there's no seat at the table. I brought my chair, put it right in the middle and say, your mommy don't come.
That's right.
What are you going to do?
I like
you know
that.
What I mean? And with you, it was the same thing. You went through so much, but you keep pushing, and now look at you where you are.
Right.
You know, the diamond dealing part is one thing because she's a diamond dealer as well. But then, of course, you know, this is what your focus is.
Right.
And from, you know, you part of what you've done so far is the financial inclusion.
Right.
You know, that was right before we went on the break. I want you to elaborate more on that. What did you do with these women? You know, and that was one of your first tasks as the focal point, this
Right.
financial inclusion. You had the MDs involved, right?
Yes.
So what did they say to these women? Are they going to really help these women to get these loans?
Well, that's the thing. That's why I am pleading to the banks, the institutions, the financial institutions. I'm pleading to NGOs, the international bodies. Women just need an opportunity like anyone else.
Right.
So if they do that, that would make things better for all of us and the economy as a whole. It would obviously help the GDP in the country. You know, just empower a woman. If you empower a woman, you empower a nation.
Of course.
So we want help.
Okay.
That's one of
That was a major.
the major things. But the MDs, I believe, now that we completed the training, is to go back to them to say we've completed the training. This is a pilot. Let's try these women out, and with strict supervision and, you know, assistance to see how they're going to do. From there, we want to take this to other districts, not just Kono.
Right.
Kono is because they were the ones that made me get this appointment. They pushed me. So from Kono, we want to go to the north. We want to go to the southeast. We want to come to Freetown. So we want to take this across the country, just to help women. And not just the financial inclusion training. There's also the trade, because the Commonwealth focuses on 3 T's, which is talent, trade, and training. Okay, the training, we've done it. The trade, you and I went to the trade trip in Kenya.
Right.
And the talent, we're doing so many things with talents in the entertainment industry, fashion, and so forth. So those are the areas that we're focusing on. We're going to Lesotho next March.
Okay.
So Lesotho is hosting the Commonwealth countries, about 22 countries.
Right.
So that will.
Because I remember last year when I was there, they said every year they're going to be hosting different countries.
Right.
So when are they coming to Sierra Leone?
2024.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. We're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Are you going to be prepared for 2024?
Yes, when I go to Lesotho, when we go to Lesotho.
Okay.
So when we go to Lesotho, right? So it's a task for all of us as women. And this time we have the Foreign Affairs and Dr. Victoria Soleimani, the newly appointed Director General of Foreign Affairs.
Okay.
Definitely, she's excited about the Commonwealth Businesswomen's Network. So I just want to thank her for her belief and support in the Commonwealth Businesswomen's Network. Also, the Honorable Mantine Tarawali, she's also on board and said that she wants to help and she wants to be a part. And also strong women like Ellen Keister, you know. So
we just wanted to help as well.
Right.
Make sure, you know, she was on point, got her together in speech and everything. Like, we were ready. We were prepared.
Yeah, and you were like editing my speech. No, remove this, do this, say this, you know. And that's what womanhood is about. That's what women empowerment is about, supporting and helping each other. And your help, it made us, you remember when I did my speech, right? Of all the countries, I was the only one that got a standing ovation.
Of course, we did that. It was just us, we did that. And, you know, I really just want to take this opportunity because, you know, to help, to thank the ones that supported us. Of course, it was Nats Calm, with GT Bag.
Yes. Salon Commercial Bank.
Salon Commercial
Bank. Yes. So, so we just want them to continue to help us because by them doing that, they're opening so many doors and opportunities, creating opportunities for the women in Sierra Leone. Also, I'm also pleading to government, like they say in Creole, Mama government, Papa government, like my broken Creole, do ya, we they beg you to help to put your hand under us to help the women in Sierra Leone by creating opportunities through the various agencies and so forth. If they do that, that's going to help the women in Sierra Leone because we're very efficient in doing things.
And of course, especially the 2024, you know, hosting of the conference, definitely we need all the support, you know, for people to come on board because it's huge. They, you know, they did us good, you know, and we just learned a lot. So definitely we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, and also just to mention brief, the Queen of Lesotho. Imagine Lesotho have a black queen, a queen. So that should be an inspiration for all of us. She's also going to be one of the guests of honors among so many dignitaries from different parts of the world, including the UN and so many other international organizations. So we as Sierra Leone were going to learn and to prepare. Imagine us being the baby of all the other countries. Look, they could have asked Nigeria, right? There's Ghana, there's Gambia. I mean, we're speaking of the West African countries that's under the Commonwealth. Sierra Leone being the baby. We just came like this March. They said, wow, Sierra Leone is doing such a great job.
Right.
We want Sierra Leone to host 2024. That's going to create a huge impact in the economy, in the tourism.
Exactly.
So we need government and all meaningful Sierra Leoneans, the private sector, to come on board. So we too, now we bingo bluff and say, yes, Salon, our beaches are beautiful.
Exactly.
You know, the people are great, you know. So
Definitely,
we want
please
them to
come on
help.
board. So besides all of this, what else do you do? What else do you do? Or what else have you done? I know we've talked about the women. Of course, we'll talk about what the important part.
Right.
We're looking forward to 2024. Of course, looking forward to next year as well.
Right.
We'll be there every year representing Sierra Leone.
That's
We're going to
right.
make sure we do so many things. But, you know, Sia not being the focal point, Sia not being the diamond dealer, what else does Sia do?
Well, you know, I have two daughters. But on a side note, what I did, when this administration came into power in 2018, the president, His Excellency President, retired Brigadier Julius Malavio, let me get it right.
Right, you got it.
Some people are very particular about the titles. I'm not saying he is, but just to get it right. He did a thank you tour throughout the country. So I was fortunate enough to be asked to do the presidential lunch.
Okay.
So I hosted the president for the presidential lunch when he became president in 2018.
Okay.
And it was also another opportunity to do good and give donations. So at that lunch, I donated through the president televisions and laptops. I gave 10 TVs and 10 laptops to the constituencies, particularly for women throughout through the various constituencies. So I did that. So among, you know, just helping women, I like to go to hospitals to see what the needs are for women and children that have very severe cases, you know.
And you're missing one part that I know.
Which one?
That you're a fashion designer as well.
And this is one of my designs.
Right, I had to bring that in. But anyways, it's been a pleasure. You know, I'm honored
you.
to have you here, you know,
Thank
to
you.
tell your story, of course. I mean, you know, I'm with you.
Thank
Definitely
you.
support you in every bit of the way. I know
Thank
sometimes, you know, in our busy lives, we tend to do our thing, but one thing we know is we got each other's back
Of
regardless
course.
of what
Of
it is.
course. That's
So
what
good
you-
luck. I'm
Thank
still here.
you.
I'm still available. And of course,
Thank
we're going to
you.
reach out to more women and more
Yes.
organizations. And of course, thank you to all the other ones who supported us.
Yes.
We're looking forward to more support, women to women, you know.
Yeah.
So this is just the beginning. Of course, we're going to reach out and spread our wings.
And
So
I
thank
look
you.
forward to you and I going to Lesotho.
Yeah. Promise not that you don't talk about TV. Anyways, no one miss my set. Of course, I have a gift for you.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah,
Thank
this is-
you.
yes.
This is so nice.
Yeah, so I just want to wish you
Thank
all
you.
the best.
Thank you.
And, you know, in everything, and just good luck. Keep
Thank you.
shining.
Thank
keep, you know,
you.
keep soaring higher.
Thank you.
And everything else.
And
All right.
thank you.
Okay. Do you have a few words for the, you know, the guests before they leave? What would you advise women? Just something short before we close the show.
Okay, what I would like to advise women, don't give up.
Okay.
You have challenges, but don't give up. You have the naysayers. You have those who believe in you. You also have those that will join you and then later on leave you.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's part of the process.
Yeah.
People come in your life for a time, for a period, for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And God brings them for a certain season, for a certain
reason or a lifetime,
purpose.
yeah.
So regardless, who is meant to be there will be there.
Mm-hmm.
Who is not meant to be there, God brought them in your life to teach you a lesson or for you
Right.
to learn something.
Right.
It does not mean you should give up.
Okay.
Just have faith, have deaf ears,
All
because
right.
people are going to talk.
All right. Don't give up. Of course, till next week, I've been your host, Ellen Keister. Peace.